Hi, I'm Aubrie.
Hi, I'm Kathleen. We're two friends having a good time.
I happen to be a Christian, and that's okay.
And I happen to be an atheist, and that's okay.
Welcome to the Christian and the Atheist podcast.
Let's dive in.
Hey guys, have you left a review for our podcast yet? Head over to wherever you listen to your podcast and do that right now.
And follow us on Instagram and Facebook at The Christian and the Atheist, and TikTok at Christian and Atheist.
Check us out on Patreon for ad-free content.
And speaking of ads, if you or your business would like to sponsor the Christian and the Atheist podcast, feel free to contact us to get started.
Coming up on the Christian and the Atheist podcast. It has been awful, but it's been freeing. It's been a journey of sorrowful searching. I'm peeling off layers of me that once were what I thought what I was, or what I thought I believed, and now I'm digging into new things.
Mm-hmm. What do you got for me?
I don't want to be a Christian anymore.
Oh my God! That's brains exploding everywhere.
And fireworks, whatever, it's fine.
So let's talk about
no
that.
idea what I'm about to say.
No, I don't. I don't live in your brain.
This is going to drop weeks after I've written this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So anyways, let's dive in.
Another update to your mental state / spirituality / life. Let's hear it.
Okay.
What do you got?
The nice church I went to was okay. Letting me go. Nice. Thanks. Now I'm stuck here really questioning this Christian thing. And not because I look at humans and judge God. But more like I look at Christianity and think, gross. Fuck that. You're killing. We should have recorded this video. I'm not ready for that.
No.
Okay.
You're in a blanket. You're just wearing a blanket.
I have no bra on.
That's okay. I don't care if you have a bra
I know.
on.
Okay.
You don't have to keep in the blanket, by the way. You can let your blanket down.
It's comfort to me.
Okay.
Okay. I look more and more into what Christians stand for today, and it looks more problematic. 80% of Christians voted in Trump. Mormons have an account holding billions of dollars while kids are still in foster care being abused. People are on streets hungry. Poverty is a real and serious thing, and Black people are being incarcerated at alarming rates. Transgender rights are being ripped away from them. Roe v. Wade was revoked, and Christians rejoiced to a God that believes these babies are precious. But once they are born, they got to figure it out on their own. What the fuck? This whole God is all loving and all knowing. Yet bad goes down. I'm not interested in spreading that toxic theology. And also the whole less of me, more of him, when the him we are talking about is made up by white dudes.
Yeah.
I'm mad.
Don't get me started.
We already know. It's my turn, Kathleen.
I'll settle down. Continue.
Just kidding.
That's right.
Okay.
Just imagine this whole time I have my eyes closed and one hand in the air like,
preach. Okay.
Amen.
I'm mad that when I was growing up, people that I trusted and looked up to told me crazy shit like the King James Version Bible is the only Bible and all other stuff isn't right. And if I feel doubt, it's the devil controlling my mind. What a scary concept for a small child.
Yeah.
As I got older, I was told men can't control themselves, so it's up to me to keep their eyes safe. Like I'm a weapon just for having a body. It wasn't until recently that I realized men aren't weak. When it comes to women. Women aren't Superman's kryptonite, but in fact, men are capable of being in control of their responses to women and to women's bodies, much like we women do towards men.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of the same thing.
We're doing the same thing all the time.
I'm not sexualizing men and their freaking sausage.
Sausage.
Anyway,
it's true. I have never catcalled a man. Stop doing that.
I will objectify the man that I sleep next to.
I will say I may have catcalled Brandon,
but he likes it, and it's like consensual.
It's usually actually I just go. He walks around the house, and he goes. Anyway.
It's Christianity that has given power to rape culture by victimizing women's bodies, which makes men lack self-control. I want no part of it. I do believe there is a God and love stories of Jesus and how he was, in fact, against organized religion. I still pray and find myself extremely grateful to a higher power that I feel resides in my soul with me. I don't deny that there is a God. I do deny the Bible's validity. I do question if the Christian God that I gave my life to so long ago is real. I'm not mad at God. I don't hate God. But I've been very privileged white woman in America and wanted for little. Was it a lucky draw of chance? Probably. But with that, I want to stop hiding behind a God that benefits from things I just stated that are fucked up. Am I still Christian? I'm still sorting through that because I very much feel connected to the beautiful parts of the God I grew up worshiping. So for now, I'm keeping the Christian part of the Christian and the Atheist podcast because putting somewhat Christian or Christian, but I'm one of the good ones, or Christian against Christian nationalism is too damn long.
We are
And the
already
Atheist
too
podcast.
long. We're already too
We're
long.
pretty long.
We have to shorten like our Instagram handle
Yes.
because the Christian and the Atheist podcast doesn't fit.
It's a lot. It's a mouthful.
We can't add more words.
What an interesting time to have started a podcast.
Yeah.
Going from where I was when I started to where I am now. Y'all are getting a front seat to the journey. I find joy in that because there are so many others waking up or been awake from the matrix like I have. Let's build a community and stop the spread of the toxic and deadly virus called Christianity.
Oh my god.
Pew pew pew.
Oh my god.
What'd you think? Were you expecting that?
No.
Really?
No. I mean, I had a feeling that that's where your brain was, sort of, because we talk. We don't only speak over the podcast. We talk here and there. But it's like,
I did call you.
Again, we are still actually friends.
I messaged you in the middle of the night one night.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do the Christian part anymore.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? We got to rename.
You said it was very jokey and it was very like,
But
you were
half
still
real, half fake.
Yeah, you were still very much in the process
Yes.
and in the trenches of your feels, which you are still, and that's
Of course,
totally like normal and expected and good. But there was a moment where you're like, we might need to rebrand, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Not upset, but like,
oh no, what do we do?
We just made merch.
Like, what do you call yourself when you believe in God but you hate the whole Christian concept?
I don't know the answer.
I know. Spiritual?
Yeah.
But Christian and the Atheist podcast is catchy.
It flows so much better.
And I mean,
what?
God, I don't know. Guys.
We'll figure it out. It'll be fine. You're along this ride with us. But no, I was not expecting that. And I'm here for it. 100% of what you said, I agree with. Like there were several moments that I had to hold my breath while you were reading because I was going like, I literally at one point was like, okay, I have to breathe too. Like, we gotta calm down here. We gotta chill. Nobody can do this. No.
Oxygen to the brain is really important right now.
Yeah. But I think it's a very, I don't even know the words I'm looking for. I think it's incredibly like mature and like you are, it's selfless. That's what I'm thinking. Instead of in this time being like me, this horrible thing is going on, which you absolutely have the validity to do. You're suddenly going, wait a second. All this time I've been thinking a lot about myself in my life, and I need to be thinking a little more about the other people who haven't been as privileged as I am. Right.
I mean, honest to God, like, white people, but they're people of color that are part of Christianity.
Of course.
And there's toxicity in that. It's not just a race.
No.
One race. It's like humanity and Christianity in general. It's kind of messy.
Organized religion has some faults.
There's a lot. But
it's like we could like, I don't know, like make a podcast about it or something.
Oh my gosh, let's do it. So, I mean, I hope I didn't freak anybody out too bad because it's funny. Oh my God. So I had someone who's been worried about me giving up my faith in God.
Right.
Like capital God.
Right.
And she has like a right to feel that way. That
Right.
fear is there. And I
yeah.
don't want to scare anybody or think, oh, I'm over here like ready to like, I don't know what you call ready to whatever. But leaving Christianity doesn't mean I'm forgetting about God or
Yeah.
giving that space a middle finger. It's a middle finger to the organization, not to the one who was who it's created based on.
Yeah.
But also,
I think
what part is bullshit and what part's real? There's a realness to my faith. There's a lot of bullshit in the religion.
That's the hard part to wade through.
And
is
I'm
figuring
that
out
one out.
in your own faith
Yeah.
what is real and what is man-made.
Yes.
2,000 years ago by a bunch of power-hungry, money-grubbing assholes.
Exactly. Or just
Just
controlling.
rolling with it.
I think people are like, Aubrie, are you leaving? Like, God? No.
No.
What is God? Like, and like Jesus, like, can't believe I'm about to say that.
No, you are blowing people's brains right now. Everybody's losing. There's cars are crashing.
Yeah.
People are like jumping off of bridges because they're freaking out.
What's
probably
on a tire on fire?
Yes, just rolling, rolling tire on fire. Let's go.
I don't know if I can say it out loud.
Do you want to write it down and I'll read it?
No. It's weird. This is a weird place to be.
Okay.
Because it's like, so
if
there's
you're not
parts,
ready to say
I'll
it, you don't
say
have to.
It's just I'm processing this, and you get to hear it.
Okay.
But so growing up, you're like there's different parts of me. So think of yourself like having multi-personality disorder, which is no longer a thing, and I don't remember what the new thing's called. Like I have multiple personalities in my brain.
Dissociative identity.
Pretend
disorder.
I have that.
DID is what it's called now.
Yes, pretend I have that.
Sure.
I don't, but pretend. And there's different parts of my brain that are literally like sirens are going off, like that's a problem, or the little parts of me, the little kids in me are like, remember learning about Jesus and how important this is, or the Bible parts that I have, like you're not going to go to heaven. And so what about that burning for eternity?
Not to interrupt, but my eyes rolled very hard just now. Go ahead.
So I think I'm so ridiculous right now. I'm going to take a lot of the pausing out, I promise.
It's going to be fine.
I think...
Your eyes are not open. She can't say it with her eyeballs open. She can't see the world and also say words right now. They're squinted shut like we're in Bird Box.
I got this new Twitch. It's really great. So the whole Jesus thing is special and still very like important to me. Yes. So I don't believe. Okay, I don't know about the whole Jesus and worshiping Jesus like a god.
Okay.
Kind of like Jewish people do.
Yeah, there's a lot of religions that think he was just
like a prophet.
Like a prophet or a
like
very like a very
example.
powerful.
Yeah.
He was godly, but was he God himself?
Was he God
No.
and man?
Yes, maybe. Who knows?
Like, I don't know.
I don't think you're alone in any of this.
But I'm not over here looking at Jesus and being like, "F you, Jesus." No,
Right.
no.
It'd be very
like,
rude.
Me and Jesus, I would like walk next to that guy down the street and be like, I love this guy. Am I gonna be like,
if you love so much,
kissing
why don't you
his
marry
feet? Sorry, what?
If you love him so much, why don't you marry him?
Nope.
Anyway,
No.
you can take that out.
You're fine. No, I think we talked about that a little bit.
We
Anyway,
did. That's why I was laughing.
It's funny. So for me, me and Jesus are still close.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to be like worshiping Jesus anymore.
Wow. That's a huge thing.
And the only reason I say it like that is just out of like, I don't want to cause pain to other people. And I don't want people to follow suit because they think it's what they have to do, because this is just my journey. And I think that worshiping Jesus isn't a problem if that's what you want.
Yeah.
It's the parts that are problems are when you're hurting others.
When you're
with it.
using Jesus to hurt other people, that's where there's
Yeah.
a problem with Christianity. When you're just walking through life going, Jesus is a cool guy who said to love people and be generous and kind and honest and lovely to everybody, well, who can complain?
Yeah. So, yeah.
I don't think you're alone in this. I think
I'm sorry, Jesus.
he's fine. He's
but
not
I also
upset.
don't feel like I'm getting this whole, like, crying Jesus.
Look, what is it? What is he gonna do?
Thing to think about. Anyways, I
think
I will say, like, I'm not letting go of Jesus. I'm just not putting him. Like, I think God. I don't know. Maybe I'll change my mind, but that's where I am today.
You're allowed. That's completely
I'm processing
allowed.
what that means.
Yeah,
and that's where it's got me today.
I think there are a lot of people who have either been burned by religion or just kind of saying, you know what, I don't think this is it for me or whatever. Who are still very spiritual, still believe in a higher power, a God, a deity, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily fit into the Christian umbrella. But
right.
It doesn't mean they're not worshiping God.
Yeah. So I still have a lot ingrained in me. Like, it's funny, the other day, something happened. I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. And then I cracked up.
I say that kind of stuff all the time.
No, but I meant it.
I know that's
praise
true. That's
to
true.
Jesus, which I
mine.
still think I'm gonna do.
You can,
because
why not?
You
can make your spirituality whatever you want.
Yeah, true.
It can be whatever you want it to be. You can be the number one member of the Church of Aubrie. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to go by any rules.
Latter-day Saints.
Sure, I don't know. The rules that we have are man-made.
Yeah.
You don't have to go by any of them. As long as you are doing good things in your life, then you're going to be great.
I think so.
I know so.
I think look at you.
I know.
You're Jesus.
I'm a genius. No, I didn't say
said.
Jesus. No, I said I'm a genius.
My bad. I literally heard you go, I'm Jesus. I'm like, yeah.
I'm not.
You are.
I'm not. That sounds exhausting.
Look how freaking hilarious this is. So what's funny is thinking about, by the way, like, we're not even 20 minutes into this episode, and I keep looking, like, thinking I feel like an hour passes by.
Yeah, you feel like time's going way faster. We've been talking for 11 seconds.
Anyways, so that's weird. But I just remember the concept of us doing this podcast, and you're like, you're not going to change me, and I don't feel like you have at all. And I hope that people know, like, Kathleen has always been very supportive of my Christianity.
Yeah.
When I had it.
Unless you want to change something, I don't think you should.
Yeah. I think it's a journey that you have to take, and
yes.
I took it, and I didn't feel like you influenced it negatively. And I don't think that the atheist guests and friends that we've made with this have influenced me in a bad way.
Yeah.
If you really want to be honest, I was going to my church and sitting there being like, that's weird. And then I'm getting demoted from leadership, and not because I feel like I need to be in leadership, but because I was. And, like, I would have been fine not being in leadership if they never put me in there. You know what I mean?
Or if it was,
like, it's
like you said in the last one, if somebody demoted you, they were like, listen, you're not just, like, your skills we're really struggling in this position, and you're not doing good. Like, yeah.
If it's not because you're,
or if it was a demotion of, like, we need you someplace else that you're going to be better at, or like if there was an actual reason behind it, not just you love kids too much.
Yeah.
What?
It's weird. But anyways, so there's that.
You're doing great. Listen.
Oh, sorry, Mom. I don't know that Mom listens, but sometimes she does.
Well, she might to this one.
Sorry.
If we title it something catchy, we're gonna get.
So you guys were listening to my Bible entries. What? My journal entries?
Yes. Yes.
And I want to read July 30th.
Okay.
So here we go. Part of it I might not read because I'm still working on the research of the information I was given.
Okay.
And I'll give more context to that in a minute.
Sure.
So we took a Foundations of Unitarian Universalist class.
Okay.
During this class, the minister said something that kind of, like, he was talking a lot about Christianity. Unitarian Universalists are a branch off of Christianity.
Yes.
They are not Christian, but they're not Christian.
They don't necessarily fall into the traditional Christian umbrella, but there are people who are Unitarian Universalists who are Christian.
Yes.
Yes. It's a little confusing.
It's so confusing. I'm so sorry.
There are also people who are not Christian who are there. You have There are people who draw. It is a branch of religion that draws from many different theosophies.
Yes.
Whether they are just Christianity, Judaism, philosophy in general, whatever. But yeah.
So I leaned over to Frank at one point and I said, "We've been bamboozled."
Oh no, not a bamboozle.
And Frank was like, both of us were literally sitting there listening to this man.
Yeah.
Who's wonderful. And blowing my mind sitting here being like, fuck.
Yeah.
What have I been doing for my whole life?
So wait, he was just talking about like Christianity in general?
Christianity in general. And like, so Christianity's freaking old. Yeah. So call me crazy, Kathleen, and I should have known this, but I didn't.
I think I know what you're about to say because you texted me about it.
Yeah.
I did know this.
That was weird, sorry.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just my plain ignorance, this is what I'm reading, or lack of deep diving into my own religion, but I never knew that Paul and Jesus didn't know each other in the flesh, but only after Jesus was resurrected.
Yes.
So talk about the moment, like, so you, Book of Mormon, which I find interesting in a point of I don't believe in it.
Yeah.
It's not something I grew up believing.
Right.
I did believe in Jesus' resurrection. But I think that hearing that Jesus was resurrected and in the 3 days that he wasn't alive or whatever, he was in the Americas.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
So funny.
It's a wild story.
But hear this out.
Yeah.
Jesus dies and is resurrected and appears to Paul.
Yes.
Like, call me crazy, but that's weird.
That's the story.
And I didn't think about that. And so I said, that's a red flag.
That's Paul on the road to Damascus. That's the famous story.
And I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm over here thinking, Jesus, maybe I did and just didn't like care. But like Aubrie today or July 30th, hearing this was like, oh my gosh.
Well, it's the mindset of like, wait, what else do I not know?
We're just kind of thought, oh, God's married. Okay, I wrote this down. Sorry. Okay, so that's a red flag. But in all fairness, if I knew, I probably would have chopped it up to God works miracles and does things we can't explain. Of course. But like for real, realizing that blew my mind.
Yeah. So what part blew your mind? The fact that Jesus was dead and not alive and in a tomb, but also in heaven, but also other places and talking to guys on a road?
Okay. All this stuff until you said talking to guys on the road was fine with me.
Okay.
I'm like, I can drink that Kool-Aid, and I drank that Kool-Aid.
Sure.
But
he can't do that while talking to a guy on a road? That's where the disconnect. Okay.
I don't know why.
Listen, you know what? Everybody has that point where there's like, I'm sorry, what now? He said a what now?
No, I think
on a road? He's talking to a dude? What?
Think about Paul and all that Paul did. Paul was a big deal.
Just kidding.
Allegedly.
That was really rude. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It was funny. So he was a big spreader of the faith.
Yes.
But he never saw Jesus in the flesh.
Yeah, he wasn't there.
I'm sorry.
He literally joined up at the last minute.
Was he not a disciple?
No. No,
I thought he was a disciple.
No, he was not.
Who am I? What is... I just jump into the freaking boat and say, Hail Jesus.
I mean, like, that's the important one. Paul's like a side character in this quest. It's not a big deal. Yeah, Paul was not a disciple.
Yeah. So this part I don't have evidence on.
Okay.
But I'm going to read it, and I'm still working on understanding this better. So he's... Reverend Marlin was saying something about 325 AD and the Bible or something, and it just kind of, that was when I looked at Frank and said, we've been bamboozled.
So is he saying that's when the Bible is written?
Something like that.
That's what I've always heard.
Yes. Okay, so I talked to Dr. Jennifer Burden, and she's like, that's not accurate. I looked it up on the internet. It was like nowhere, like when I said, did Paul... I go to Chat GPT and I said, did Paul and Jesus ever know each other in the flesh? And it said, no, he did not.
Yeah.
It is said that he appeared after the resurrection to Paul.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm sorry, ChatGPT. My mind's broke.
Hold your horses. I
Yeah.
got to think about that.
So anyways, lots of accounts of what happened during the resurrection and all that time frame was really just word of mouth. And then finally written down almost 300 years later. And I don't know if that's true.
That's what I've always understood. Again,
Okay.
I am not a biblical scholar.
Yeah. So I'm going to
Clearly.
talk to the
But
Reverend about it.
more. That's what I always understood.
Yeah.
Which is also why Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the Gospels, have different accounts. Sometimes
Yes,
of
which
the
is
same
weird.
story.
And I hate that.
And they claim to have been there and
They
be like,
weren't.
I was here. I saw this. Jesus
No.
and I, homeboys, we ate together. But in
Except
reality,
they
they're
were
writing
having
it down.
mental.
It's very
visions.
confusing. And
Anyways.
it doesn't really make sense, which is why I don't believe
So
it.
I said, red flag. I found the evidence on the Paul information, but I'm working on talking with Dr. Jennifer Bird on seeing if Jesus
Right.
part is true.
I think
could
there
be
are
wording it
conflicting
wrong.
stories because
Yeah.
when it comes down to it, the actual evidence for the Bible is only the Bible. There is no contextual, there is no architecture, there is no
Yeah.
historical documentation of anything except the
Yeah.
Bible. That is the only evidence. So going back and figuring out exactly
It's a
when
mess.
Mark wrote things, the only thing we have about Mark is what Mark wrote in the Bible. So we don't know.
Yeah. And then
It's very hard to pinpoint any of this.
And then the minister said something like, they're seeing texts or was it? Yeah, it was him. So they're seeing texts and here in one sentence, they say a slang word.
Yeah.
And then in the next, they don't say, or they say a different slang word. And it's showing like not consistency in time that they're
Yes.
written in.
It's-
So like say like this year we tweeted,
Right.
but whenever Twitter was invented, we know what time of the
Yeah.
century
Basically,
we're in.
even just slang as in the way we form our sentences changes.
Yes,
in
so they're kind of going
50,
off that.
100 years. There is okay, so I'll amend my statement. There is evidence like that.
Yes.
That people,
but that's
scholars
what they're
can
having to
read
go
and
off
say,
of.
okay, we know that in the year 100 AD, this is what was going on in the
Yeah.
world, so we can go off of what they're saying here matches with this, so that must be
Yeah.
this. But there isn't, and there are the Dead Sea Scrolls, and there's other ancient scriptures that have been come out
Yeah.
that maybe say this and maybe say that, but they're not canonized, and nobody really knows, I don't
Right.
know.
It's a mess.
It's a whole mess, which is why a lot of people were like, throw it away, I don't care.
Well, that's what I was telling Frank was like, oh my God, we're just like Kathleen and Brandon right now. They sat
I'm
down and looked at their
sorry.
stuff and was like, that doesn't make sense. And I'm like, why?
It's such
Why
a,
is it happening like this? Why
it's
did
such
we
a
not
scary
know?
mindset to sit down and look at your own religion that you've been doing your whole life and go, wait a second,
just
I
frustrated.
don't know anything.
Yeah.
Like the mindset of I thought X was true for 30 years and you're telling me that it's not, and you knew it wasn't, you've been telling me the opposite.
Yeah.
What the hell?
But do you know? No, they don't know the
Yeah.
people. Or do like the thing that gets me is I'm like over here like, who knows and doesn't care?
Probably.
No. Anyways, so I wrote, we sat down with Sharon and told her we aren't in agreement with Christianity anymore.
Oh, how did that go?
We expressed that believing in Jesus as God isn't necessarily the way we worship. We believe he was a great example of how to be a decent human and loved how he loved others. But as far as worshiping him as a God, we aren't sure that's the Kool-Aid we want to drink anymore.
Wow.
As I type this, so many scriptures come to my mind about how wrong it is and that I think even think like this. I love Jesus.
Scriptures that were possibly written 400 years after the fact by a white dude.
Or, yeah, who knows?
Or a
well,
Middle Eastern dude, or any dude, any guy who
Greek or
potentially,
whatever, yeah.
potentially, or maybe it was written by Paul himself, who was real. Maybe he wasn't real. We don't know.
Right.
Maybe he wrote this in an actual letter to the plebeian people of whatever bullshit place, or maybe it was
mess.
King James's monks who were transcribing stuff,
Yeah.
shoving more things in because
learning
he
so much
wanted
about that.
he
Yeah.
wanted the people to pay
that's-
lots of extra tithing, and so let's
Yeah.
make sure they can't leave.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot to consider when it comes to the Bible's validity and what it means. And
Yes.
none of it's comfy to do. So I don't envy you this place because I've been in this place and it sucks.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
I said, I love Jesus. I appreciate the influence his teachings have had on my life. I don't agree with the Bible, and the God of murder, death, racism, sexism, and homophobia is the God Jesus called Father. I don't know. There is so much.
Yeah.
I can't fully call myself a Christian, but I can't fully say I'm not.
Yeah.
To rip that title off sounds wild and uncomfortable right now, because I cling so much to God, to the creator of this world, my guide in my life, my comforter. I can't run from the idea that there not being a God, because I feel so much that God is with me every bit of everything and is walking with me through this. I think God is happy I'm no longer held down from something man created. I'm overwhelmingly sad in this moment and extremely happy. Through all of this madness, I've still got God. I'm not letting that piece go. The connection is too strong. The love, the guidance, the fact that Spirit is with me makes me still feel so much comfort. And any divine intervention I receive, I welcome. In January, I believe we recorded about goals, and one of mine was to do things that make me uncomfortable. Remember that?
Nope, but I'm sure it happened.
I want to find it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Of course. The universe is an asshole.
I believe God knew I would never leave Life Church on my own.
Yeah.
The comfort was there. The community I built. Everything was what I wanted, even though they had some flaws. And even though I didn't really find myself connecting with scriptures for quite some time. It took what I feel as guidance from the divine to put these things in front of me and say, no more. I can't do this. It has been awful, but it's been freeing. It's been a journey of sorrowful searching. I'm peeling off layers of me that once were what I thought what I was, or what I thought I believed. And now I'm digging into new things. Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah.
The Barbie movie came out
Yay!
this month.
I loved it!
So if you haven't seen it yet, you don't want spoilers, there's going to be a little bit here.
Yeah,
but
turn off your podcast and come back later. Or go watch
listen
it.
to it anyways. It's not a huge spoiler, but
No,
it's so crazy to me, this movie. Okay.
I loved it.
The Barbie movie came out this month, and it couldn't have come at a better time. That's God to me. I don't want to spoil too much, but this is part of it. Towards the end, Barbie was holding Ruth's hands, asking her permission to let her be human.
Yeah.
Ruth said she didn't need to have her permission. Barbie didn't need Ruth's permission. She could just do it. Barbie didn't know who she was if she wasn't Barbie. Ruth told her she just has to feel. Then Billie Eilish's new song starts playing.
Yeah. What was I made for?
And, okay, I'm tearing up at the song lyrics and realizing how much this resonates in me. Here's my favorite lyrics in the song. So I'm going to read to you, not sing it to you. Don't worry. So it goes, I used to know, but I'm not sure now what I was made for. Taking a drive, I was an ideal, looked so alive. Turns out I'm not real, 'cause I don't know how to feel. I want to try, but I don't know how to feel. But someday I might. Someday I might.
Someday I might.
Okay. Not exact to what I'm going through, but I'm really sad. It hits the feels and it really resonates.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to the people who go through this and don't bring God with them. Don't be mad at me for saying that.
I'm not.
Okay.
Look how upset I am.
Okay. It's not a bad thing, but to leave that behind sounds like a huge chunk to take out, and I don't know if I could be me without that chunk of me there. Anyways, that's just where I am. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do this.
There's not.
Lastly, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Lastly, this is the last sentence.
Okay.
It's the middle of the night and I'm up and it's annoying and all I want right now is pizza.
Yes.
Pizza emoji.
Pizza. I love it. I did think of you when the Barbie movie happened, because in that moment at the basically a good part of the movie, again, spoilers, go see it and stop listening to us talk about it, God.
They've seen it. It's been a
come
while.
on. A big part of the end is her realizing that she can be more than what she was created for. She was created to be one thing, and she's allowed to say, that's not enough for me anymore, and I'm going to do something else, or I'm going to do something different, or bigger, or smaller, or different.
She gets to figure it out.
She gets to decide who she is and what she is made for herself. And I thought of you, and I thought of just, just the mindset that you're going through right now, just the struggles of you've been part of one thing, and you're having to figure out how to go transition that into something else, whether that's a different version of that same thing or something different or whatever. It's the same idea.
Yeah. It's funny. So, and I'm having a hard time, and I'm also having the time of my life at the same time. It's kind of funny because, like, this is just a building block to, like, I don't know what the final step is. I don't really feel like there's ever a definitive thing with that. But, like, I think that I got out of something that wasn't good for me. And I think it's good for other people.
It can be, yeah.
And it was good for me when it was. But to be honest, I thought it was, and it really wasn't.
That happens. There was times that I thought Mormonism was great for me, and it wasn't.
But I'm not, like... No, and it's just so funny because it's like you never put on to me to be something different than I was.
I don't want you to be something different than you are. I like who you are.
But like with the Christianity aspect. And so with that being said, to the people that are listening that do choose Christianity, like all of it, and as it whole, like scripture is the law, have at it.
Yeah. As long as you're not hurting anybody, go to town.
You really are.
You know, that's
I sound like you.
No, that's another podcast episode for another day.
But I honestly do want I do want people to, like, if that, like, I did talk to one of the parents, like a friend and a parent to one of the kids that their kid is part of the LGBTQ plus community, and she's like, what do I do? Or I don't know really what to do. Do I leave or do I stay? And I'm like, friend, you don't have to leave.
No.
I'm not telling you what you have to do. You get to figure that out for yourself. And if it's to stay, I'm not mad.
Yeah.
You might need to be there.
Maybe. Maybe that's the right decision for that person. The right decision for you.
Yeah.
It was something different, and that's okay. We're allowed to have different paths in life. So if we were all exactly the same, it'd be really boring.
And if you're a friend of mine who's, like, not interested in being part of things, but you want to try out the Unitarian Church, come with me. I've had so many people be like, I might want to try that out. And I'm like, come on.
I know a place.
It's no life church.
Nope.
I want to update, just a quick update on that.
Yeah.
So last week we went in the organ, there was a guest organ player.
Oh.
Did you see my story where it was the Addams family church? Okay, so she's playing an organ, and Frank and I go, Frank does not like the traditional sermon or traditional style church
music
service.
Yeah.
There's a humanitarian service. It's very on his level.
Okay.
And I'm like, I like the way Life Church did things. If we could have the sermons with the Unitarian Universalist style, I would love for that to be a thing, but I can adjust. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so the traditional things worked for me. And so we sing hymns and everything. It's so funny. I'm literally like, this is a mind F if I ever had one. Anyway, so he won't stand when the hymns get sung, which is funny, and you are allowed. Like, I don't feel like he's being disrespectful at all, because there are people that will not stand either. Because this isn't working.
Like, that's weird.
I stand because I want to be respectful, not that it's disrespectful, and also I'm like, cool, I'll stand.
It's basically just a chance to stretch your legs if you want to.
True, because sitting on those god-awful pews.
Yeah, the pews aren't great. They're not great.
Anyways, actually, this Sunday I wasn't in the worst. Like, I guess my back adjusted where I was able to sit in it fine. But the other week I was like,
I struggle.
Anyway, so the organ situation. What was I gonna say? Crap, my brain went blank.
Family.
So it's just okay. So I love it, and I also find myself being like, I feel like I took a few steps back, but not in a like maturity, but in a time space continuum thing.
Like, it's not the 1950s in that church, but they're not assholes about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, it's funny, but we're taking this class. We're gonna learn more it's a 3-week process, so I'll talk more if I find anything that blows my mind. But I don't know if I'm gonna be. But Kathleen, I don't know if I'm gonna be a Christian anymore.
That's okay. You don't have to be. You can be whatever you need to be.
But like, honestly, like I'm over here like, so this is a thing that's been bugging, and then I'll be done. Is how do we like promote ourselves as the Christian and the atheist?
Oh, we're gonna have to rebrand.
So it's like talking to people, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're the Christian," and they're gonna talk to me like I'm the Christian.
Yeah,
I'm not. I am. What am I?
We're gonna have to
We're not gonna have to rebrand, but how do we just approach? Like, I guess like we have been, because I have been having to say, I'm like completely against Roe v. Wade being revoked. Yeah, and people are like, "Wait, what?
Hi, yeah,
you're a Christian?"
Yeah, we exist.
And I didn't vote for Donald Trump.
Barf.
Anyways. All right.
If you didn't know that already, neither of us voted for Trump.
Good.
Shocker.
Good for us.
Congratulations, Aubrie.
I was not part of that 80%.
Way to have...
Very gladly.
Way to have your wits about you in 2016. Congrats.
And 2020.
And 2020. Yeah.
I know.
Right? Yeah. I don't know. Listen, time is weird.
That was a weird year.
It's a weird couple of minutes.
Anyways, all right. So that's the update for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Have you guys checked out our merch yet?
We have awesome t-shirts, mugs, tumblers, and other fun stuff.
Head down to the link in the description to give it a look.